How to calculate ARV or after repair costs in under 60 seconds. What is up guys, Zach in here, and in today's video, I want to show you exactly how you can find the ARV or after repair value in under a minute. The truth here is most wholesalers overcomplicate ARV, figuring out what the after repair value is and really figuring out, and you get stuck in this analysis paralysis and you end up overshooting your deals, sending deals to buyers that are just way too high, and then the buyers don't want to ever deal with you again. Figuring out how to calculate ARV the correct way is actually going to be super important when it comes to the cash buyer side, not just the side of you talking to a motivated seller and figuring out really quick with speed if this is going to be a good or bad wholesaling deal. Now, after doing over 2,000 wholesaling deals in the past 7+ years, I've gotten very good at somebody sending me a deal anywhere in the country in under a minute, figuring out a rough ARV and figuring out exactly where we need to be at a cash offer to make sure that's a good wholesaling deal or not. Now, it does take some practice, it does take some patience, but it's not complicated. It's not crazy advanced. It's actually pretty stinking simple. And what I want to do is really give you my fundamental breakdown that I give to my JV company, sellmypaper.com, when we get sent thousands and thousands and thousands of wholesaling real estate deals every single year. And we break down the underwriting process so we can figure out if it's going to be a good or bad wholesaling deal. Now, because I get sent thousands of wholesaling deals every single year, I have to get really good at figuring out if it's a good deal or bad deal. And this is the exact formula I trained my team on in 2024. Now, the first question you're having is, what is ARV or what is after repair value? And that might be your first question today. Well, ARV basically is short for after repair value. And what after repair value is just basically the value of a piece of property, probably what you've guessed, after the house has been repaired. So if you really want to think of a nice house flipping TV show or what a house would look like when it's beautiful and perfect and done, that's what ARV is. And in my general mind, I'm going to get in trouble saying this, but I imagine my mom or my sister, what would I have to do to this house to make it up to their standards for them wanting to live in it, right? They love their little TikTok houses and seeing if the house has the marble cabinet, the island kitchen, the flooring's all perfect and beautiful, there's a nice little garden, you know, all that stuff to make it just a nice looking house. That's what after repair value is, something you can put on a TV flipping show and to make it look really beautiful. ARV is not what it takes to get the house in serviceable condition. A lot of guys have these old 1970s houses with shag carpet that look disgusting and yellow and nasty, but it doesn't need any structural repairs. There's no leaks and the roof is new. So you say that the property needs no repairs at all. ARV is clearly what it takes to take a house right now and for up to modern standards. Really nice laminate floors, a brand new kitchen, obviously a newer roof, and for it to look nice and modern. Nothing crazy fancy or luxury, but just looking really good that you can put on the house on its best day. This is a problem I see a lot of wholesalers have. They make repair costs super low and they make their ARV way crazy high, and they wonder why their cash buyers don't want to buy their deals. Once we figure out ARV, all we have to do is add in what the repair cost is going to be. We actually have a really easy handy dandy chart right here, 2024. It's my quick repair cost guide. It's pretty simple based off of light, medium, and heavy repair costs. Now, in my free wholesaling course, freewholesaling.com, I actually break down exactly what constitutes light repair, medium repair, and heavy repair. It's really not that crazy or advanced. And once you figure out what the square feet, it's pretty simple to figure out what repair costs are. And then we just figure out what the present value is. And so I don't care what your broke wholesaling guru got to say, ARV minus repairs is the present value of a real estate deal. So if the house on its best day with all nice and beautiful is $400,000 and the house needs about $50,000 to bring it to that condition, 400 grand minus $50,000 is $350,000. $350,000 is what the property is actually worth right now. I buy the house at $350,000, I put 50 grand, it's worth 400. Pretty standard. That's the present value. Now, your cash buyer is going to want to make profit money on the real estate deal. So if he puts 50K into a deal, he puts on the market, he flips it, he takes all the risk, he brings the capital in here, he's going to want to make at least $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 in profit on the flip. So to do that, he needs a discount. And depending on the ARV on the real estate deal, your cash buyer is going to want anywhere between 70 to 85% off the ARV minus repairs of the property. Now, if you want to look at this chart right here, it'll show you exactly what the formulas are for most cash buyers across the country. Now, every market is very different. That's what my MAO formula is. I know a lot of wholesaling gurus say, well, that's not the real ARV formula, and they don't really flip houses. They try to minus off what their wholesale fee would be and all these crazy, ridiculous things. Guys, I do $3,000 wholesaling deals. I do 100,000 plus wholesaling real estate assignment fees. Your assignment fee you can put in the deal is whatever it could possibly be. The point here, guys, is not focusing so hard on MAO, but focusing on a low cash price so we make the most money on a deal. This is why when you listen to a broke wholesaling guru, you get perpetually stuck making 5, 6, 7, 8 grand on a wholesaling deal. And when you listen to me, you start doing $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 wholesaling deals. On this YouTube channel, we do not focus on MAO, we focus on LAO. MAO is max allowable offer. We focus on LAO, least allowable offer. We go and get the lowest offer possible. If you want to learn exactly my formulas and all these things, we're not here to do the full tutorial on that today. Just check out my free wholesaling course, freewholesaling.com. Now, repair cost is easy. Our discount formula is easy. The only thing that's not easy per se, especially as a beginner, is going to be that ARV value. And that's what we're talking about today. Now, if you've ever watched any of the videos I've done or any of my full tutorials on wholesaling, you know when I tell you to get into virtual wholesaling or your own wholesaling real estate market, you got to make sure you're in a good market. And what's the best way to figure out if you're in a good market or bad market? 2 simple, easy criteria. Criteria number 1, is your population in your county over 100,000, and is your median home price below 400,000 to 500,000 in your county? If the answer is yes to both, you have a big population and a decent median home price that's below $500,000, you're in a good wholesaling market. There's plenty of cash buyers, there's plenty of houses. It's a nice, healthy market for us to be wholesaling. When there's a lot of houses, there's a lot of houses being sold. And when there's a lot of houses being sold, we actually get a lot of comps. We can figure out ARV very easy. This is why I always tell you guys, go to a market that is actually thriving, a decent economy. Memphis, Columbus, Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, Orlando, like just markets that actually have comps are great. We're talking about Ruralburg, Indiana, with a population of 300 people in there, and the closest airport is 4 hours away. That's probably not a good wholesaling market. Rural areas are really tough to figure out ARV, and you're not going to be able to figure out in under 60 seconds in a bad wholesaling market. So this applies to good wholesaling markets, which if you're watching this, you're wholesaling in a good market. Now to figure out ARV, all we have to do is figure out this thing called comps. Comps, or short for comparables, is the best way to determine a value of something if we really don't know what it is. Let me give you a quick example. I am a big Miami Dolphins fan. As you can see from this helmet we have here and me talking about the Miami Dolphins, that's my favorite football team. I love the Dolphins, me and Rick. I do not like the Buffalo Bills. I do not like the New York Jets. I do not like the New England Patriots. Those are their division rivals. So if you ask me if I have a Josh Allen signed football helmet, which is a player on a team that I don't like, you might ask me, Zach, how much are you willing to pay for this? I'm going to tell you I will pay you $5 just so I can throw it in the trash so it doesn't have to be in my sight. That filth, I do not want to see a signed football helmet with the Bills on it. Now, obviously that's a joke, but me, I don't want to pay money to go see a football helmet of something I don't like. But I flip the script and I go ask a Buffalo Bills fan how much he'll pay for that helmet. He'll probably pay thousands of dollars for it. The moral of the story here is, what is the value of that football helmet? Is it with me that pay $5 for it, or the Bills fan that'll pay $1,000 for it? Obviously it's worth $1,000 because that's what the fans are willing to pay for it. So if you have a real estate deal and one buyer says he doesn't want to buy it, or he'll buy it at a really low number, ask the majority of people around and you'll figure out the values. But what if you're a person that doesn't know football? And I gave you a Josh Allen, who's a guy, he signed a football, what it's worth. How do you figure that out? How do I know what the ARV on that thing is? Well, it's pretty simple. What you're going to do is you're going to go on Google, you're going to search Josh Allen signed football helmet, you're going to go to eBay, you're going to look at the collectibles market, you're going to look at the auctions and what people are selling for, and you'll figure out helmets like that might be selling for $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. And you're going to be like, okay, well, this is in good condition. The other helmets are going between $2,000, so I guess this helmet's worth about $2,000. And boom, it's pretty simple, right? The same concept applies for houses. If you don't know real estate at all, what are you going to do? You're going to look at very similar priced houses and what they're selling for. This is why it doesn't take a genius to get good at wholesaling. It's why a big dummy like me can make millions of dollars every single year. So if I have a house and this guy wants to sell his property and it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and it's 1,000 square feet, what I'm going to do, shocker, I'm going to look for similar houses. And so my criteria that I tell all my people when we go comp properties is we want to look for just similar houses. And so my rule is same bed, same bath. So if I have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, I'm gonna look at other 3-bedroom, 2-baths. If my square feet on my property is 1,000 square feet, I'm gonna look at similar ones. I like to be between 2 to 250 square feet plus or minus. So I'll look at sold houses that are selling for 750 square feet all the way up to 1,250 square feet. I like the same decade year built on the house, which basically means if the house is built in 1985, I want to do a plus or minus 10 years. And what I mean by that is 1975 built houses and 1995 built houses, between that range. I want to look for similar construction. So this is one problem I see a lot of wholesalers make. They'll find a brick tiki type weird house and compare it to a nice masonry concrete construction build and be like, this is the same thing, when it clearly is not. Some houses are built with wood, some are built with bricks, some are built with concrete blocks. You got to figure out what the construction of your house is and find other similar ones. Houses with a pool, houses without a pool. And the last criteria is we like to stick to an area. And what I mean by that is I like to stick to subdivisions, because that's how the property appraiser for your county kind of sticks them together. If you have to and you can't figure that out, maybe do zip code, but make sure they're at least a quarter mile or half a mile at most away from the house. And keep it like that and be smart with it, right? You guys are smart people. If a house is on a highway, if a house backs up to a dump or a landfill, you got to take discounts off the property. If the noise is bad from the highway, you're going to have to probably take 5, 10, 15 grand off the property value and just generally go from there. What you're going to figure out is about 4 to 5 houses sold within the last year are similar to that. And they're selling between 200,000-300,000 and one sold for 400,000. What I'm going to do is get a general price per square foot. So if a property sold for $250,000 and it was 1,000 square feet, that's going to be about $250 a square foot. And then if a property is $230,000 that it's sold for, but it was 1,200 square feet, that's about $191, $192 a square foot. What I'm going to do is just take the average of those 4 or 5 comps, those comparables, and then add that to mine. So if I figure out after the average it's about $200 a square foot, it's what's selling in my area, multiply that by my square foot of my house, 1,000, and you'll get roughly a $200,000 ARV. It's not complicated. It doesn't take crazy rocket science, but just find similar houses, get that price per square feet, multiply it by your square foot, and boom, you can find ARV in under 60 seconds. Using software like ZachData.com, ListREI.com, DMZach.com that are paid services that'll just pop them up and show the comps really quick and easy are definitely the best and fastest ways to do it. But if you have no money and you want to do it really quick too, I highly recommend Zillow.com, Realtor.com, and Redfin. Heck, Trulia is really good too for figuring out comps on the fly really quick and really easy. Software definitely helps, and I do get most of my data from the paid softwares, but also if I'm in a pinch or I want to do something really, really quick and easy, just use Zillow or Realtor.com. And lastly, and this is the most important thing, guys and gals, use your own house as a comp. No wholesaler ever talks about this. If your house is a Zillow for sale by owner and it's listed for $250,000 and it was listed for $300 and it keeps getting price drops and you're at $250 now, your ARV might not be too affected, but your MAO definitely is. If no one's willing to pay $260,000, $270,000 for the house and the seller keeps cutting price and no one's locking the deal up, you know for a fact that it's priced just a little too high. If your property sold 2 years ago for $200,000, you know the ARV is not going to be $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 if it had no work done to it. If it's sold 2 years ago and that's the same exact comp with no other work being done, it's going to be between maybe 220, 230, maybe 240, 250 at most if you add some renovations, but you start getting capped at comps. A lot of people like to have their eyes covered and just ignore the facts that if your property sold a year or 2 or 3 years ago, you got to use that as a rough comp of what the property is valued right now. That being said, in under 60 seconds, you can get this data done really easy and simple, especially in 2024. We have the tools, we have the systems, and we have the data now at our fingertips to get it done quick, simple, and easy. So guys, if you got any value from this video, and if you are ready to start getting ARV really quick, do me a favor, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, check out my free wholesaling course, freewholesaling.com, and I'll see you soon. This is Zach signing out. Have a blessed one.